Hello, everybody. Today we will gain knowledge about the Constitution of India through some basic multiple choice questions. So, without wasting any time, let's start with those questions. The first question is: in which year the Legislative Council of Tamil Nadu was abolished? The options are A. 1983, B. 1985, C. 1986, and D. 1987. The correct answer to this question is option C, that is 1986. The next question is: who among the following presidents of India was the first chief minister of the modern states in India? Options are Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, B. Mr. Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy, C. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, or D. Dr. B.D. Jatti. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is Ms. Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy. Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy was the first chief minister of Andhra Pradesh when the state was formed in 1956. The next question is: which article of the Indian Constitution says that the directive principles are not enforceable by any court? Options are A. Article 36, B. Article 37, C. Article 38, or D. Article 39. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is Article 37, talks about that the DPSP are not enforceable by a state. So let's see what does Article 37 talks about. 37. This article states that the application of the principles contained in this part, the provisions contained in this part shall not be enforceable by any court, but the principles therein laid down are nevertheless fundamental in governance of the country, and it shall be the duty of the state to apply this principle in making laws. So now let's move on to the next question. In which year Sikkim was included in Northeastern Council? Options are 1992, B 1999, C 2002, and D 2005. The correct answer to this question is option C, that is 2002. The Northern Eastern Council was set up in 1971 to deal with the problems of seven northeastern states of India. It was set up under the legislation called Northeastern Council Act 1982. The state of Sikkim had also been included in Northeastern Council by Northeastern Council Amendment Act 2002, which was notified on 23rd December 2002. The next question is: the freedom of press is implicit under which article of the Constitution of India? Options are A. Article 19, B. Article 20, C. Article 21, or D. Article 22. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is Article 19. Article 19, Clause 1 talks about the freedom of press and the freedom of speech and expression. However, the freedom of press is not simply mentioned in the Constitution, but the freedom of speech and expression includes the freedom of press. It has been debated in the Constituent Assembly about it, and the chairman of the drafting committee said that no special mention of the freedom of press was necessary at all, as the press as an individual or a citizen was same as far as the right of expression was concerned. Thus, these rights are not absolute. On one hand, where Article 19 provides every citizen the freedom of press, this article, in its further clauses, also puts restriction to a certain extent on these kinds of freedom. It provides conditions under which the freedom of press can be exercised and cannot be exercised. The next question is: which among the following articles was inserted in the Indian Constitution by the 42nd Amendment Act 1976 in a purview of the Indian being the signatory of the Stockholm Conference of 1972? Options are Article 45, B. Article 47, C. Article 47A, and D. Article 48A. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is Article 48A. Initially, the Constitution of India had no direct provision for environmental protection. Global consciousness of the protection of the environment in the 70s, Stockholm Conference, and the increasing awareness of the environmental crisis prompted the Indian government to enact 42nd Amendment to the Constitution in 1976. The Constitution was amendment to introduce direct provision for the protection of environment. This 42nd Amendment added Article 48A to the Directive Principles of the State Policy. But what is Article 48A? Let's see in the further sections. Article 48A. As per Article 48A, the protection and improvement of environment and safeguarding of the forest and the wildlife, the state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forest and the wildlife of the country. The next question is, who among the following had voiced for the demand for Constituent Assembly based on an adult franchise? Options are K. Kamaraj, B. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, C. Sardar Patel, or D. C. Rajgopalachari. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is C. Rajagopalachari. On 15 November 1939, C. Rajgopalachari voiced the demand for a constituent assembly based on the adult franchise. The next question is, under which act the Legislative Council was given the power of discussing the budget in the British Indian Parliament? Options are A. The Indian Councils Act 1861, B. The Government of India Act 1858, C. The Indian Councils Act 1892, and D. The Government of India Act 1909. The correct answer to this question is option C, that is Indian Councils Act 1892. The next question is, the principle of the dyarchy introduced by the British in India refers to which of the following? Options are A. Rule by two, B. Separation of legislature and executive, C. Division of subjects transferred to provinces into two categories, or D. Two parallel governments. The correct answer is option C, that is division of the subjects transferred to provinces into two categories. In the Indian context, diarchy refers to the division of legislation subjects into central and provincial categories. The subjects delegated to the provinces were further divided into reserved and transferred categories. The next question is, which of the following is not a recommendation of the Simon Commission? Options are abolition of diarchy, B. Extension of the responsible government in the provinces, C. Establishment of the Federation of British India and Princely States, and D. Discontinuation of the communal electorates. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is discontinuation of the communal electorates. In November 1927, the British government announced the appointment of the seven-member statutory commission under the chairmanship of Sir John Simon to report on the conditions of India under its new constitution. The commission did not recommend for the discontinuation of the communal electorate. The demand for the Constituent Assembly was accepted in which proposal of the British government? Options are A. Gandhi-Irwin Pact, B. August Offer, C. Cripps Mission, or D. Cabinet mission? The correct answer to this question is option B, that is August of law. The next question is, who was the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly? Options are A. G.V. Mavalkar, B. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, C. Dr. K. Munshi, or D. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar? The correct answer to this question is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The most important committee of the Constituent Assembly was the Drafting Committee, which was set up on August 29, 1947, for drafting the Constitution of India. It was entrusted with the task to draft the Constitution as per the best they could for the betterment of the society and the country. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman of that drafting committee, and the committee was led by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar for the drafting of the Constitution. Let's move on to the next question. Which part of the Constitution deal with panchayats? Options are A. Part 9, B. Part 9A, C. Part 9B, and option D. Part 10. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is Part 9 of the Indian Constitution deals with panchayats. This part was included in the Constitution by the 73rd Amendment Act of 1992. It consists of Article 243 to 243O. The next question is, which of the following features of the Indian Constitution is not borrowed from Canadian Constitution? Options are A. Federation with strong centre, B. Residuary power with the centre, C. Advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, or D. Impeachment of the President. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is impeachment of the President. The next question is, who said the following line? Quote, India is an undestructible union of destructible states. Unquote. Options are A. Jawaharlal Nehru, B. B.R. Ambedkar, C. B.N. Rao, or D. Dr. Rajendra Prasad. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is B.R. Ambedkar. Article 1, Clause 1 of the Constitution of India says that India, that is Bharat, shall be the union of states. The word union was deliberately chosen in place of federation to indicate that the Indian Union is not the result of the agreement between the states, and its component states have no freedom to succeed from it. Thus, while states can be broken, reorganized by the alteration of boundaries, the country is a union which cannot be broken. The central government can change the name, boundaries of the state without their permission also. That is why Dr. B.R. Ambedkar called India as, quote, indestructible union of destructible states, unquote. The next question is, the bills related to the territorial rearrangement of the Indian states and union territories under Article 2 and 3 need which of the following kind of majority in the parliament? Options are A. Simple majority, B. Effective majority, C. Absolute majority, and D. Special majority. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is simple majority. The next question is, who is called the modern Manu? Options are Dr. K. Munshi, B. N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, C. T.D. Krishnamashri, or D. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar? The correct answer to this question is option D, that is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is also known as the father of the Constitution of India. He was a brilliant writer, constitutional expert, an undisputed leader of the depressed classes, and the chief architect of the Constitution of India. He is also called the modern Manu by many people due to the reason that he drafted the Hindu code bills. Who said that? The Constituent Assembly was Congress and Congress was India. Options are A. Lord Mountbatten, B. Lord Wellington, C. Clement Attlee, or D. Grenville Austin. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is Grenville Austin. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following statements are true regarding the concept of equality and liberty enshrined in the preamble of Constitution of India? Statement 1. Without equality, liberty would produce the supremacy of few over many. Statement 2. Equality without liberty promotes individual initiative. Options are A. Only one, B. Only two, C. Both 1 and 2, and D. Neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is only 1. Liberty and equality are concepts which go hand in hand. Without equality, liberty will lead to the supremacy of few over many, and equality without liberty would kill the individual initiative. Next question is, in which year was Goa conferred statehood? Options are 1967, B. 1987, C. 1995, or D. 1992. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is 1987. The next question is, what is the purpose of inclusion of the directive principle of state policy in Constitution of India? The options are to establish social and religious democracy, B. to establish political democracy, C. to establish social and economic democracy, and D. to establish Gandhian democracy. The correct answer to this question is option C, that is to establish social and economic democracy. Basically, the DPSP serve the purpose of establishing social and economic democracy. They constitute a very elaborate economic, social, and a political program for a modern democratic state. Although they are not enforceable and they are not a duty bound on every individual to follow, but it can be entrusted or can be implemented by the state.